Carla's story added a new layer to the puzzle. She revealed that Mr. Parker had a pattern of steering clients of color away from certain neighborhoods under the guise of helping them find a better fit. This revelation hit Marcus and Tiana hard. Their fight wasn't just about their dream home anymore. It was about exposing a system designed to hold people back. When they walked into the meeting, tension filled the air. But just as they were about to confront Mr. Parker, he dropped a bombshell that changed everything. As Marcus and Tiana sat across from Mr. Parker, they felt the weight of everything they'd been through. They calmly laid out their concerns, presenting the evidence they had gathered. Mr. Parker's confident demeanor faltered, but instead of denying the claims, he smirked and leaned back in his chair. "You think you've caught me," he said. "You don't know how this business works." The couple was stunned as Mr. Parker began to justify his actions, claiming he was protecting the neighborhood's character and that clients like Marcus and Tiana wouldn't fit in. His words only fueled their resolve. Little did he know, the advocacy group was watching everything from a nearby room, recording his statements. As Mr. Parker's arrogance grew, the group entered, revealing their presence and the evidence they gathered. His confidence shattered. But just as they thought the battle was won, the twist came. A senior real estate official entered, revealing that Mr. Parker wasn't acting alone. This was part of a larger systemic issue within the agency. Marcus and Tiana realized their fight was far from over, but this victory was the first step in dismantling a much bigger problem. The fallout from the meeting was swift. Mr. Parker was immediately suspended, and the advocacy group filed a formal complaint against the real estate agency, demanding a full investigation into their practices. Marcus and Tiana's story gained attention in the local media, shining a spotlight on housing discrimination and inspiring others to come forward with similar experiences. Though the journey had been exhausting, Marcus and Tiana felt a sense of pride knowing they had made a difference. Their courage had exposed more than just one person's prejudice. It had uncovered a systemic issue that needed to be addressed. Shortly after, they found a new realtor who treated them with respect and dignity. Within weeks, they closed on a beautiful home in a neighborhood where they were truly welcome. As they stood on their new porch, they knew their fight wasn't just about a house. It was about justice and hope for a better future. Imagine walking into your dream home, only to realize someone is determined to keep it out of your reach, not because of your finances, but because of the color of your skin. That's exactly what happened to Marcus and Tiana, a young black couple with big dreams of owning their first home. Excited and hopeful, they worked tirelessly to save up and find the perfect place to start their next chapter. But when a seemingly friendly realtor began throwing up roadblocks and making excuses, it became clear something deeper was at play. What started as a house hunt quickly turned into a fight against injustice. Marcus and Tiana refused to back down, setting a plan in motion to expose the truth. How far would they go to stand up for what's right? Stay tuned to see how this couple outsmarted the odds and delivered a powerful message about equality and resilience. Marcus and Tiana had spent months searching for the perfect home. They visited countless open houses, met with multiple agents, and finally found a charming property in a quiet, welcoming neighborhood. It felt like everything was falling into place, until their interactions with the realtor, Mr. Parker, took an unexpected turn. At first, his excuses seemed minor. Delays in paperwork, sudden changes in pricing, and vague answers to their questions. But soon, it became clear that these weren't simple miscommunications. Every time they tried to move forward, another obstacle appeared. Meanwhile, Marcus noticed other buyers, ones who didn't look like them, receiving smoother, faster service. Tiana, always sharp and observant, started piecing things together. Could it really be about race? The thought stung, but the evidence was hard to ignore. Determined not to let discrimination steal their dream, they decided to dig deeper. Marcus and Tiana couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. They decided to test their theory by having a close friend, Jason, pose as a potential buyer for the same house. Jason, who was white, contacted Mr. Parker about the property. To their shock, Jason was greeted with enthusiasm and provided with all the details Marcus and Tiana had been denied. He even received a tour of the home that Marcus and Tiana had been told was no longer available. The couple felt a mix of anger and heartbreak, but they refused to let it defeat them. Instead, they started documenting every interaction with Mr. Parker, emails, phone calls, and even casual conversations. They also began researching the realtor's history and discovered troubling patterns in how he treated other clients of color. With every piece of evidence they gathered, the picture became clearer. But how could they prove it and hold him accountable? What they uncovered would change everything. With their suspicions confirmed, Marcus and Tiana decided it was time to take action. They reached out to a local housing advocacy group, sharing their story and the evidence they had collected. The group, experienced in fighting discrimination, was outraged but not surprised. Together, they devised a plan to confront the injustice head-on. Meanwhile, Marcus and Tiana kept up the appearance of interest in the house, continuing to engage with Mr. Parker while the advocacy group worked behind the scenes. Each interaction became a test of their patience as Mr. Parker's dismissive behavior grew more blatant. They knew they were walking a fine line, but they also knew the stakes were too high to back down. Finally, the moment came to put their plan into motion. Armed with hidden cameras and support from the advocacy group, they arranged a meeting with Mr. Parker. What happened next would determine everything. As Marcus and Tiana prepared for the meeting, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into uncharted territory. They had practiced what to say, ensuring they would remain calm, no matter how tense things got. But just before the meeting, they received an unexpected call from someone claiming to be a former client of Mr. Parker. The caller, a woman named Carla, shared a story eerily similar to theirs. She, too, had faced unexplained delays and dismissive behavior when trying to buy a home.